السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. اللهم نور قلوبنا بمعرفتك واشرح صدورنا بنور كتابك وسنة نبيك واحفظنا عن زلل وخطأ في بيان مرادك. رب اشرح لنا صدورنا ويسر لنا أمورنا واهدنا لما راشد أمورنا ونعوذ بك من شرور أنفسنا. بسم الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فصل في بيان العطف. Chapter with regards to conjunction clarification. وأما بيان العطف فمثل أن تعطف مكيلا أو موزونا على جملة مجملة يكون ذلك بيانا للجملة المجملة. That is with regards to بيان العطف. For example, when you connect a measured or weighed item on an overall sentence, and that will be a clarification for an overall sentence. مثاله إذا قال, its example is when you say that لفلان علي 100 ودرهم, that I also and so 100 in dirham, or 100 وقفيز حنطة, or 100 in a قفيز of wheat. كان العطف بمنزلة البيان أن الكل من ذلك الجنس. That the conjunction will be clarifying that they are all from that class. وكذلك لو قال
Okay.
100 وثلاث أثواب.
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So this is the second last wujub bayan or wajh bayan. It is called bayan al-atf. So bayan al-atf is basically, as it says here, bayan al-atf فمثل أن تعطف مكيلا أو موزونا على جملة مجملة يكون ذلك بيانا للجملة المجملة. This is where you explain. You have a sentence on which you have made up to an amount that can be weighed in volume or measured. Now, على جملة مجملة means you have made it up to another sentence. So you got معطوف معطوف عليه, right? So your معطوف is your item that can be measured or weighed. And the معطوف عليه, the sentence before the عطف, before the واو, for example, that is a جملة مجملة. Jumla has been translated in two ways. It could either mean an ambiguous statement. So again, the part of the sentence before the wa is ambiguous, is unclear in its meaning. And after the waw, we have something which can be weighed or measured, measured in volume or weighed. Okay, so that's the one way. Another way it has been translated jumlatun mujmalatun is jumla to mean majmu'atun mujmalatun. You make it at upon a whole or upon a group of things which is ambiguous. So make it at upon a group of things which is ambiguous. However, it comes to the same thing as you'll see from the example. For example, the person says لفلان علي 100 ودرهم. So 100 is the معطوف عليه. واو is حرف عطف and dirhamun is the عطف. So for someone upon me, I owe somebody 100 and a dirham. Now 100 what? That is mujmala. That's not clear, so what 100 is referring to. 100 what? So we're saying that there were dirhamun. And because dirham in those days was gold and silver, which was a mawzuni thing, something which can be weighed, so it had weight, and depending upon the weight, that would be the value of the coin. So because this dirham has been made ma'tuf upon mi'ah, we will say dirham is the bayan of mi'ah. In other words, it means 101 dirhams. I owe somebody 101 dirhams, like we would say in English. But in Arabic, they would normally say mi'atu dirhamin wa dirhamun. Okay? Mi'atu dirhaman wa dirhamun. However, because that is a bit long-winded, So, and is used very often in trade. So they make takhfif. They sort of, what you call, they abbreviate it to mi'atun wa dirhamun because it's understood by the people in that circle what they mean. Okay? So mi'atun wa dirhamun will be the bayan of what mi'a is. And mi'a also refers to dirhams. So in other words, I owe so and so 101 dirhams. Or he says mi'atun wa kafizu hintatin. That I owe somebody 100 and 1 kafis of hinta. So this kafis of hinta is bayan of what mi'a is. Otherwise, he owes him 101 kafis, which is a weight and measurement, 101 k's, for example, of the wheat. Understood?
Sure.
So atf kana bimanzilatil bayan. So the atf, meaning the wa, whatever comes after it, that will have the status of bayan. It will be given the status of an explanation for the entire sentence, the ma'tuf and ma'tuf alayh, if it is from the same genes. That it is from the same genes. That it is from the same genes. If it meant dirhams, it means the total amount is dirhams. If it meant hinta, it means the total amount is hinta and so forth. وكذا لو قال, and a similar will be the case if he says مئة وثلاثة أثواب, 103 pieces of cloth or clothing. Understand? So Mia again will mean all 100 is also referring to thawb. أو مئة وثلاثين دراهم, or 103 darahims. Okay? أو مئة ثلاثة أعبد, or 103 slaves. فإنه بيان أن المئة من ذلك الجنس, because the ma'atuf is a bayan, is explaining that the mi'ah, the 100, is from the same jins. The 100 also is included in the total amount of whatever item is mentioned afterwards. Understood? بمنزلة قوله 21 درهما, it will be on the same state that if he said 101 dirhams in the example above, the first example. Okay, carry on.
بخلاف قوله 100 وثوب. Contrary to his saying that 100 in cloth, أو 100 وشاة, or 100 in sheep, حيث لا يكون ذلك بيانا للمئة, when that cannot be an explanation for 100. واختص ذلك في عطف الواحد بما يصلح دينا في ذمة كالمكيل والموزون, and that is specific to the connection of one thing to what is considered as a debt in the care, like measured weight item. وقال أبو يوسف رحمه الله يكون بيانا في 100 وشاة. Imam Abu Yusuf rahmahullah, he said that will be 100. It will be a clarification in 100 in sheep, ومئة وثوب, 100 in cloth, على هذا الأصل, and in this usul. فصل في بيان التبديل.
So now we have a difference of opinion here with regards to some other example. That if a person wants to say 100 and a sheep, or 100 and a piece of cloth, then is this also atful bayan or not? So Imam Abu Yusuf rahmatullahi sticks to the above usul, and he says that this is also atful bayan. And Tarfain say that this is not atful bayan. Imam Hanifa and Imam Muhammad rahimahullah, they say this is not atful bayan. Okay? So Imam Yusuf rahmatullahi is proof is the same as above, that the entire amount will be considered to be, the thing mentioned will be considered to be the same genes as the ma'tuf alayh. Okay? So Tarafain say no. If a number is mentioned with the ma'tuf, then it's fine. Like in the above examples, mi'atun wa thalathatu abudin, or mi'atun wa thalathatu dirhamin. But if a number is mentioned with the ma'tuf, then it can serve as atful bayan. But if it is something that is not makili and mawzuni, it is mentioned on its own, Like this example here, mi'atun wa thawbun. There's no number before thawb. Or mi'atun wa shatun. Again, no number before sheep. 100 and a piece of cloth. 100 and a sheep. And in this case here, this cannot serve as bayan for the 100 before it. حيث لا يكون ذلك بيانا للمئة. واختص ذلك في عطف الواحد. They say this is specific to where you make a thing what? عطف to something that can serve, can apply as one, as being a debt in one's responsibility. Like a person can owe somebody something which can be measured and weighed. So the same doesn't apply to cloth and sheep, meaning that these are not common items for which a person will be in debt for. Because the cloth and the sheep is normally paid cash, whatever he does something that is normally in the marketplace, something that you would owe somebody for. So mi'atun, they say, will remain mujmal. He has to give one piece of cloth and one sheep. And then mi'a will have to go to him because it's mujmal. We have to go to the person who said it and ask him what he means. If he then says, I meant 101 cloth, then it's fine. Or 101 sheep, then it's fine. But until then, we cannot, from the outward statement, say that the whole thing refers to 101 sheep or 101 pieces of cloth. Understood?
Sí.
G.
Okay. So that's basically the ikhtilaf, and it brings us to the end of Bayan al-Atf. Now we go on to the last one, which is Bayan al-Tabdil. Bayan al-Tabdil, badal means to what? To change one thing for another. Linguistic dictionary meaning is to change one thing for another, to substitute one thing for another. Ibadal. In the fiqh, it means what? To substitute one law for another, to exchange one law for another. This is also called nasr in Usool tafsir, to abrogate one law and replace it with another law. Okay?
Sí.
G.
Now, obviously, when it comes to the Sharia, only the legislator, that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and his representative, that is Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, can do so, can make nasr and say that this was a law before, this is now what the law is going to be going ahead. Nobody else has the authority to make nasr of the Sharia. And with regards to one's personal statement and responsibility, can you make nasr and abrogate and cancel out your own personal responsibilities? So that's going to be discussed afterwards. That's basically the main crux of this chapter, of this fasl study. That are you allowed as a human being to abrogate, to cancel something which you made compulsory upon yourself or made binding upon yourself? Okay. Okay. Bismillah.
G. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وأما بيان التبديل وهو النسخ. As for بيان التبديل, that is abrogation. فيجوز ذلك من صاحب الشرع ولا يجوز ذلك من العباد. And that will only be permissible to the owner of the law, and it will not be permissible to the servant. وعلى هذا
Okay.
بطل
What I just explained to you now,
استثناء
owner of the law,
كل.
meaning the legislator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. We as and obviously once Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has passed away, everything now has come to an end. There's no possibility of nasr. This only existed while Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was still alive and he was receiving wahi from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
وعلى هذا بطل استثناء الكل عن الكل. Based upon this, the exclusion of all from all is batil, null and void. لأنه نسخ الحكم, because it is the abrogation of the law. ولا يجوز الرجوع عن الإقرار والطلاق والإتاق, that retracting from acknowledgement and divorce and freeing will not be permissible. لأنه نسخ وليس للعبد ذلك, because it is abrogation and it is not permissible for the slave. ولو
Okay.
قال
So what he's saying here is, so based upon this principle that only Allah Ta'ala has the right to abrogate and to cancel, and we are not allowed to. So based upon this, if a person has to exempt the whole from the, has to exempt everything from the whole, And if somebody has to exempt everything from the whole, I owe you 100 rand except 100 rand. I owe you 100 rand except 100 rand. So what's left? Nothing. I don't owe you nothing. So you're exempting the entire amount from the whole amount. So it's not permissible. This will be invalid. Why? Because when I say I owe you 100, I'm making iqrar. There's an admission of a debt. Understand? And now when I say illa al-kul except 100, it is as if I am retracting my iqrar. I'm retracting my admission. So in one statement, I'm admitting I owe something, and in the same breath I'm saying no, I don't owe it. You follow?
G.
Why? لأنه نسخ الحكم. So this is making mansukh. You are abrogating a law. The moment you say علي مئة علي لفلان مئة درهم, and I owe somebody 100 rand, for example, a law came into being. That is, you now have admitted to a debt you must pay up. Now, then the moment you said illa bi'a, except 100, you now try to cancel out that law. ولا يجوز رجوع الإقرار. It's not permissible for you to retract your admission. And neither talaq, once you've issued talaq, you can't take it back. You can take the wife back if it's talaq or raji, but you can't take the talaq back. In a sense, she will come back with one less talaq. You follow?
G.
It can't be cancelled, can't be abrogated, because once it has been passed, it's finished. And same thing with itaq, even if you say so jokingly, to free the slave is free. You can't retract it, you can't take it back. Why? لأنه نسخ, because it is equivalent to abrogation, to cancelling a law. وليس للعبد ذلك, and a person, individual, servant of Allah Ta'ala doesn't have the right to do that. G.
ولو قال بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولو قال لفلان علي 1000 قرض أو ثمن المبيء وقال وهي زيوف كان ذلك بيان التغيير عندهما فيصيح موصولا. That when he says that I also and so 1,000 loans or prices of sale, and he says that while it is zuyuf, that is a cheap coin, and that will be a statement of change according to them, then it will be correct as attached. وهو بيان التبديل عند أبي حنيفة, and that is the statement of change according to Abu Hanifa. فلا يصح, that
G.
it will not be
Now
correct.
you'll probably remember in Bayan Tahir, he mentioned there at the end, right at the end, that there are some laws in Masail. There is the first opinion amongst our ulama. Does it fit under Bayan Tahir or Bayan Tabdil? Now he's going to mention that. So basically, what Bayan Tabdil is an examples have passed. Now he's coming to those differences of opinion that sometimes amongst our ulama there's a difference of opinion that does this particular statement fall under Bayan Tahir or Bayan Tabdil. So for example, if a person said, I owe somebody 1,000 as a debt. Now remember, aliyah comes for what you call um,
Upon,
to show. Pardon?
that is upon me.
Yes. أو ثمن مبيع, or I owe 1,000 to a person as a payment for some goods. And then he said, well, here to you, and it is the 1,000 that I owe. It is of an inferior quality amount. In other words, we agree to 1,000 zuyuf, not 1,000 of the normal coins. Okay. So now, when he said this, وَهِيَ zuyuf, is this taghyir or tabdil? Because from one point of view, he's not changing his statement as such. He is acknowledging the debt. What is changed is the sifat of the money. From our initial understanding that he owes 100 of the normal coins, he's changed the quality of the money to an inferior quality. But the debt is still there, hasn't cancelled that out. You follow?
G.
So has he actually made taghyir, or is it merely tabdi? Or sorry, has he made tabdil, or is it merely taghyir? Understood? So that's where the difference of opinion comes. So كان ذلك بيان التغيير عندهما. According to Sahibain, This will be bayan al-taghyir. So therefore, فَيَصِحُ مَوْصُولًا, it will be correct if we say so immediately, not afterwards. Remember, as we did there, that's the rule of bayan al-taghyir. You have to mention the bayan al-taghyir immediately with your initial statement, not later on. Why? Because again, for the same reason I just told you now, he's not retracting his statement as such, but merely there's a change in the quality of the coins. وهو بيان التبديل عند أبي حنيفة رحمه الله. However, according to Abu Hanifa رحمه الله, this is بيان التبديل. فلا يصح وإن وصل, so therefore it is invalid. Because بيان التبديل under all circumstances is invalid, irrespective وإن وصل, irrespective of whether he says it immediately or after, it doesn't matter. It's invalid because this is بيان التبديل, this is making nas, abrogating what he initially said. Because when you owe somebody something, it's understood that you mean the normal coinage, not inferior to quality coinage. So he has basically changed his whole admission. ولو قال لفلان علي ألف, sorry, not to change, the fact that his admission. ولو قال, if he says لفلان علي ألف من ثمن جارية بأعينها ولم أقبضها والجارية لا أثر لها, كان ذلك بيان التبديل عند أبي حنيفة. If somebody says that I owe somebody 1,000 for the price of a slave girl, for a specific slave girl, ولم أقبضها, this is the questionable statement. I haven't yet taken position of I owe him the money, but I haven't yet taken position of a والجارية لا أثر لها, and there's no sign of the slave girl. We can't trace the slave girl. She's neither by the original owner, neither by the person who says that he bought her. So كان ذلك بيان التبديل عند أبي حنيفة رحمه الله. According to Abu Hanifa رحمه الله, this will be بيان التبديل. So therefore we won't listen to what he says. He has to hand over the 1,000. Okay? Because if something had happened to the slave girl prior to the sale, there would have been no sale to begin with, because we can't find any trace of her. So if she was gone and missing before or at the time that he bought her, then there would be no deal to begin with. There would be no transaction to begin with, because the Mabi has been destroyed. So the most likely thing that happened is he bought the slave girl, something happened to her, and now it's time to get out of paying the money. That's the most likely scenario. Obviously, because there no one's got proof whatever. So outwardly, this seems to be the most likely scenario. لأن الإقرار بلزوم الثمن إقرار بالقبض, because when a person admitted to owing the price, to owing the amount, and this is also an admission, automatic an admission that he took possession of the amount. You won't say that I owe somebody something, that I owe you money for the car that I bought, but I haven't taken it yet. You don't speak like that. Normally, you will say that I owe you money when you have possession of the goods. In the بالقبض عند الهلاك المبيع, this is admission to having taken possession of the goods when the goods were destroyed. إذ لو هلك قبل القبض ينفسخ البيع, because had the goods been destroyed before the transaction, before you took ownership of the item, the bay would have been cancelled automatically, because the mabi no longer exists. So the fact that you say that you owe the person something, this is also admission that you took possession of it. فلا يبقى الثمن لازما. So therefore, in that case, had it been destroyed before you took possession, as you claim, there would have been no sale, and the amount would not have been compulsory upon you to pay. So by you admitting that the money is compulsory, you inadvertently also admitting that you took possession of the item. Okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Any questions there?
Not from my side, man.
Okay. Anything you didn't understand?
Not from my side. So
okay.
So
One
there still
last
be a
yeah,
so there will still be a difference of opinion with regards to its tabdeel or taghyir. So it won't
this last one.
Okay.
Yeah. The same thing as the Abba Masla. It was the Faisal bin Nasir, this is Bayan Taghyir, and Imam Sassan was this is Bayan Tabdeel.
So there's no way to clearly separate the two of them.
Correct. Yeah, there's no way to clearly say what it correct. Okay, so one last thing I'll just mention here, although it's not part of this discussion, but when it comes to nasakh, remember, of the Quran or any law, remember it's a change for us. But in Allah Ta'ala's, as far as Allah Ta'ala is concerned, it's not a change. Because when Allah Ta'ala revealed the initial law, He always knew it was going to be there up to a particular time. For example, face Baytul Muqaddas. Allah Ta'ala knew that after 14 months, I'm going to change this, to tell them to face Makkatul Mukarramah. You follow?
G.
So it's almost like a doctor telling you, I want you to take this tablet for 2 weeks for your heart. And then I'll give you something else. So so obviously from the doctor's perspective, this is not oh, I'm asking you to do something, I think I made a mistake, now I'm changing the law, now they will now. So Allah Ta'ala doesn't make mistakes. You follow? Yes, for us, because for us, we thought that this is the law, this is what's going to be the law forever. And then when Allah Ta'ala revealed a new set of laws, and then it became clear, no, that was just temporary for a particular faida or benefit for a particular wisdom. And now this is the final law. Okay? So for us is nas, as those who are recipients of the law. But for Allah Ta'ala, who is the legislator and giver of the law, it was always going to be that. It's not that He, na'udhu billah, changed the law from one thing to another. He applied this particular law knowing it's going to be up to a certain time for an intended purpose. Once that purpose has been served, then I will change it to something else. You follow?
G.
So something where you know is going to change, you don't call it nas. Okay? So in Allah Ta'ala's knowledge, it's not nas, but it was always going to be like that. But for us, as a servant, it's important. I know it might seem like I'm splitting ears, but it's a very important point to keep in mind, especially from the Aqidah point of view, and especially from all the wrong ideologies that are out there nowadays. Might get some people saying funny things. So keep this in mind, it's very important, inshallah. Ji. Have you said something?
No, I said inshallah.
I mean, Ji, are we going to carry on or we're stopping there?
I think we're gonna carry on until, but I don't know what Mufti told Rashid today. But
He never said anything, but I'll ask tomorrow, inshallah. But I know move to say we must continue because there's still like some days.
Okay, you can just message me to confirm, inshallah. Right? If that is the case. If you don't mind, please.
Okay.
Okay, inshallah, jazakallah.
I'll message you now.
Okay, inshallah, jazakallah. Please. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallah wa bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.